I mean, it's just the intro.
Oh, it's just the intro? Okay. Avoiding both Kroot and Ratlings trying to eat us. It's the Vox Cascadia podcast.
Good job, Connor.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, I gave you a lot of prep time for it. But welcome back, everybody. As Connor said, it's the Vox Cascadia podcast. My name is Chuck, and you heard I'm joined by Connor, and Tyler's back.
What's happening, y'all? Good to be back. Missed y'all last week.
Yeah, we missed you. Did you listen to the podcast? Did you go back and listen to it? There's going to be a quiz.
I did not. No, I didn't know. I didn't know I was going to be quizzed, so I didn't listen to it. Being the procrastinator that I am, I only listen to information I'm going to be quizzed on.
Well, maybe next week we'll actually quiz you. So, what do you, Tyler? What have you been up to since you didn't join us last week? I know you had to shill for the man and do the whole capitalism thing,
Yeah,
but
they work. Like go stare at the ceiling of a Home Depot for 4 hours. That was exciting that night instead of talking to y'all. But yeah, I've been. I got my first game of the new edition in. Kit and I got together at Shiv this weekend, and I played Hand of the Archon into. She was playing. What was it? Shoot, I'm drawing a blank.
Hearthkin.
No. Shoot, I don't.
Salvagers.
No.
The Jaegers.
Why can't I remember? Let's see.
Blood Angels.
No, it
So-
was.
Star Wars Legion.
Yeah, it was Star Wars Legion. Let's see.
Middle Earth strategy battles.
Yeah.
Shoots and ladders.
I can't remember at all. My
I don't think
mind
this
is blank.
helpful.
It's not. No. You guys are getting me further away from it.
Was it an elite team?
I can't actually tell you at all who it was at the moment.
Were you actually there?
I was.
Was this a fever dream?
It feels like it at the moment. Whenever I'm pressed on information on the spot, especially when I kind of blank something for a moment, it's the worst for me. I cannot remember anything for the life of me.
Well, why don't you think on that one, and we'll catch up with Connor. Connor, what have you been up to?
Not a ton, That's a lie, actually. It has been a ton. I've been painting up my Angels of Death, started kit bashing some Legionaries at the same time because why only have one project that takes forever? I've been playing a bunch of third, getting some games in, doing a little bit of Hunter Clade because people are asking for when that guide is, and I want to give them some content, some good old content. I have yet to actually clip anything out of my Hivestorm box. I need to get on that because I keep forgetting I need to actually have physical stuff for tokens and all the new equipment and ladders and all that jazz.
I've just decided not to use any equipment other than what comes with my team. That way I don't have to worry about tokens. I don't have to worry about screwing myself and placing barricades in bad spots. So it's all just whatever comes on the team, that's what I get. Taking all 4 pieces every time.
That's wild, but I can respect that.
I mean, it can't go wrong. It can't go worse than me barricading myself off.
I mean, that's much more of a risk this time. You're not going to spend all of your points on various types of barricades.
No, I played a couple games actually too. I played Angels of Death versus Brood Brothers against Josh at Board Bard a couple weekends ago, and that was fun. That was my first game. He brought his Volcus terrain, so I got to play a game on Volcus, and then last week I played against Spencer at Contrarian Gaming Cafe in Salmon Creek area, about 25 minutes from here, and we just played on Octarius because I brought my own, and he brought Intercession and I brought Casterkin, but he played a very unoptimized Intercession list. Like he brought the captain, he brought the sniper, and then he brought a bunch of chain swords. And needless to say, it did not go well for his Intercession. So, or I guess Angels of Death. But Casterkin were neat. It was fun to mess around with them, and hitting on 3s is great, and having Severe, I think I had Severe up the entire time, so it was kind of fun to play around with them.
Okay, yeah. How do you feel going into Elites? People seem really spooked about them in general. And I also, just real quick, I remember the team I played. It was Warp Coven. She's playing Warp Coven. Couldn't remember if it was Elite or not Elite. It was both, actually.
She brings some sorcerers and Zangors.
3 sorcerers, a gunner with the Soul Reaper, and then a bunch of Zangors. So she had eight operatives. And let me tell you, those Zangors were nasty.
Yeah. Do you feel like how'd the game go? Anyways,
I
you
won.
win?
I pulled a pretty good lead towards the end. We ended up drawing loot for our mission, and then I did a recon, confirm kill on there, and so I did pretty good on that. I think I maxed with 6 on confirm kill, and then I did decent on loot also. Um, I was able to just kind of push her a little bit. I think the ability to have pain tokens when you start the game really kind of changes the dynamic of Hand of the Archon. They feel really good. The Zangors were a legit threat, and pushing through 14 wounds on the Marines, it was nasty. It was a lot of fun, really dynamic game, pretty close up to the end, where I kind of feel like with 3 objectives, it starts to snowball once you pull a lead.
So I know you were excited for that change to start off with pain tokens, and from what I've heard, as far as teams that aren't elite going into elites, Hand of the Archon are supposed to be one of the best teams for that. So do you feel like that was
Yeah,
a good matchup?
absolutely. My Dark Lance didn't too much. He whiffed all his shots on there. Blaster did solid work. My what was it? The Sky Splinter Assassin rolled really hot and put 8 mortal wounds directly into one of the sorcerers, and so that was game over for that. Just like they have the tools to push crits through, which is what you need against elites. Obviously, you need to keep that damage high, and you need to keep it going through so that they can't protect it. And then the exorbitant amount of AP2 that they have is really really good. So
Yeah, well, there's not as anywhere near as much AP in the game these days since everything got toned down, especially on like plasmas and stuff. So having sources of AP is well, actually, sorry, sources of piercing is it's piercing, right? Is is really good, especially into elites. Can't like is it Warp Coven that can get down to a 2-up save on some of their guys?
yeah, absolutely. That came into play a couple times when I was trying to take out her gunner on there, and it was nasty. 2 up saves. I think she made everything. So
Yeah, I to go back to your question about how did Casterkin feel into elites? They felt good, but again, Spencer was kind of running an unoptimized team, and Spencer's pretty new to the game. He played a little bit earlier this year, and then he's more of a Malifaux guy. He's one of those guys. So, but he was coming back to it with third edition. Was excited to try it out, and like I said, he had sniper, the eliminator sniper, the captain, and then like 4 chainswords. And I was like, buddy, you gotta bring bolt rifles. Like you gotta you need a gunner with a grenade launcher, and um I think he's gonna once he changes it up, it'll be a little bit different. But I had fun with the Casterkin. My Melta did Melta things, and she took out I think 2 of his Marines, including the captain. um, I found a neat little trick with the demo mine to get some extra mobility out of the demo mine because you can, if you APL buff your demo mine, I was able to run up, throw a crack grenade into one of his Marines. Then with my third APL, I was able to drop the mine. And then when you drop the mine, you get a free dash. So I was able to basically cut off an area, blocking it with the mine, and then dash out of the way to get my demo mine back into safety. And I think my demo mine actually lived for the first time in ever because my demo mine is usually just a sacrificial lamb where I run up and drop the demo mine and end up standing on there and either get shot off or somebody jumps on it with me.
couldn't you always do that though?
No, because
Theoretically.
the demo mine, if you well, I wasn't able to do like because the demo mine, if you had 3 APL with the demo mine, you could move, drop the mine, and dash. But what I was able to do was move, throw a crack
Okay.
grenade,
Oh,
do the
okay. So it now has a free dash, whereas previously it didn't.
yeah, the plant when you do the plant token or plant marker, whatever it is with it, you can dash away from it too. At that time. So you get an extra dash out of it. So I was able to again, have a little more like threat and block off that area and keep him safe.
Okay, okay, very nice. I thought they always had that. I know that the what was it, Vet Guard had it to where you could plant and then dash away.
I sure hope they didn't, because if they did, I was just standing there getting my, you know, my demo mine guy blown up quite a few times with a free dash in my pocket. I'm 99% sure they didn't have it. If they did have it and somebody knows, please let me know, because I've been playing it wrong the entire time. And I felt really smart when I did it last week. So I hope that it wasn't something they could do the entire time, because I don't actually like come up with plays myself. I generally hear other people do cool stuff. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna try that too. And I thought I actually came up with something cool. So hopefully I actually came up with something cool, and not something I can do the entire time.
I
Um,
don't know enough about Casterkin to tell you whether you could have done that the entire time, but let's just pretend you could, and you're a fool.
well, there you go, Connor. There's your one for the week. Now it's on.
Yes. No.
So let's talk about your time, Connor. You been playing all with your robots, or you been playing
Not
other teams?
all. Good old Grant has lent me his White Scars yet again because we did some demo games with some people. Right as the 2 weekends ago now, I guess. Yeah, 2 weekends ago. So I played a little bit of Angels of Death. They seem really fun. I do a bit of I prefer the more punchy Angels of Death, so I like their rending chain swords. That feels real nice, and rending on the power weapon for the intercession guy is super cool because you can charge, easily kill someone in the fight action, and then shoot off with like the bolt rifle. So that's always good. And as I've discovered now, just fighting any team that seems to have the Purity Seals esque equipment, where if you have two fails, you can get rid of them to like switch one of the fails into a success. That stuff is really good. It's come both clutch as myself and against me multiple times. So if you have Purity Seals, always be taking them.
Yeah, when I played Angels of Death, I ran the Purity Seals, and it was nice. It didn't come in too much, but when I needed it, it was good. I think Caster can have something like that too, but I could be wrong. Maybe
Yeah,
I'm just
Caster can still have it. I think maybe as a ploy or something. But I know
I think it's an equipment thing too.
maybe I don't know enough. But yeah, I've fought Harlequins like 3 times now, and Harlequins pretty good. Who would have thought? Getting flyback, especially on Volcus, and they have a Purity Seals esque equipment as well. Didn't come up too much in the games, but the few times it did, it was really good. And let me tell you, I was like, all right, well, it's just elves. I'll shoot them. Keep forgetting that if you're shooting from vantage into light cover, they can just retain 2 dice, which is a real pain in the ass. And then Domino Field, it's way more fun now because it's not, just always super conceal, but still super good. Super annoying when you roll like 3 6s and then they roll a 6 and spend a command point to just block all your crits.
Is that how Domino Field works?
Yeah, so Domino Field's weird now, where it is a firefight ploy, I believe, that when you're being shot at, say I roll, like I'm shooting at them, I roll 2 4s, a 5, and a 6, and then they roll their 3 dice. And say they roll like a 4 from one of the dices, they can spend a command point, and that single number can on the defensive side can cancel out all the offensive side matching that number. So if you roll like 4 6s and then they just roll a 6, they can spend a command point to block all 4 crits or something. It's really good for moments like that.
That is pretty crazy. Yeah, use this firefight ploy when an operative is shooting friendly void dancer troop operative during the resolve defense dice step. You can allocate one of your rolled successful dice to block all of your opponent's attack dice of matching results. E.g., one of your successful dice results of 5 can be used to block all successful attack dice results of 5. It's
Yeah,
kind of gross.
that. Thank you for reading out the better way because I didn't have it pulled up. So what that taught me when I was fighting Grant is the way, at least if we're understanding it correctly, the way rending works is it just means a hit counts as a crit. So if I roll like a 6 with rending and then also roll a 4, I used to always manually, just for like clarity with my opponent, swap that 4 into physically like rotating the dice to a 6. From what we understand, technically doing that is bad because of the Harlequin ploy. So instead, I should just keep it as whatever number it was beforehand. That way, at least they can't block both crits.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the actual mechanic of it. For rending, it just acts as a crit, rather than actually like changing to the number of a crit. The
Mm-hmm.
dice are always what they were rolled on there.
Yeah, so that's a good habit to know because I don't think it ever really mattered for Kill Team 21. Hopefully, I don't. My
No, I
bad
don't
if
think
I
it did.
did it.
No, I don't think it ever
Oh,
did,
okay,
except for
okay.
like maybe like Mirror of Minds, but you can't re-roll anything on that
Yeah.
anyway. So
But yeah, I'd always just convert those dice to sixes. And me and Grant were like, I guess I should stop that habit, which is going to be a pain in the ass because it's like, well, this four, even though it's a four, is a six now. And it's like, well, there's no way to really clarify that at times, especially against new opponents. So, no big deal, but a little handy tip if you're
yeah,
fighting Harlequins.
that's good to know because like Hand of the Archon, they have a lot of rending. It's like retain one as a crit for from Darkness Death, and then rending on Blade Artist. So like it gets real nasty, and if you were to forget something like that against Harlequins, it could really screw you over.
Yeah, so just
Now,
make sure not to do that.
how's that going to work if you have like accurate two? If I think you could have accurate two, and you've got you retain two hits. Would you want to say retain one as a three and retain one as a four, just in case?
I guess so, yeah. I'm not quite sure if there's wording for when you retain a dice, if it is assigned a number value.
Yeah, I don't know about that. That's pretty interesting question. You should submit that into the designer's commentary FAQ stuff, Chuck.
Who's got Greg's phone number? We'll just call him up real quick, like phone a friend.
Greg's sleeping. It's like 11 o'clock where he's at. You call him. Tyler, give Connor Greg's phone number, so
Mhm.
we can call him and have Greg yell at Connor.
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds like a good plan.
So I did look at it. It's actually Relics Acadia. It's a faction equipment for Kasrkin that gives you once per turning point when a friendly Kasrkin operative is shooting. If you roll two or more fails, you can discard one of them to retain another as a normal success.
Is Angels of Death also once per turning point? Because oops, I may have been cheating. Oh, well, it's a new edition. We're all learning.
I'm pretty sure Angels of Death is going to be once per turning point. Cheater. Let's find out.
My bad.
Yeah. So you played a little Angels of Death. I mean, what everybody wants to know, I'm sure, is how are the Hunter Clade feeling? Because the the last tour of the Hunter Clade, and how are you feeling about him so far?
So yeah, Angels of Death, oops, is once per turning point. Sorry, new guy, Chad.
Cheater.
Yeah, I'm a terrible teaching person. I'm going to hell. As for Hunter Clay, they feel okay. They're weird, and they're gonna just take a lot more learning to do. The omnisize imperative thing is really, really cool. Um, but it's just they're even more CP hungry than before, which is a bit of a shame. Losing out on an accelerant agent sucks, and the always having the downside of the deprecation effect also really hurts. But I think with the ploy, at least from like my few games with them so far, it's been stay in the melee ploy for the most part because the only shooting you're really going to be doing is with your gunners, and just get ready to have to command point reroll them. Because if you're still hitting on fours, you can still roll well and maybe only miss one, or just spend the command point to swap that operative to the better shooting imperative instead. But yeah, you're gonna need a lot of command points with them, but they feel fun. They can still hurt elites, which is nice, but they're just a lot more difficult to play now, I think.
So are you running more Rangers now too with the changes?
I have yet to test the Rangers. I'm going to try them out the next time. My personal hot take is I don't think Rangers are that good. Their one ploy is like as long as it's not turning point one, if they're not within six of an opponent, you can do a dash, which is not bad. But at least in my local scene, a lot of the teams I'm fighting are elves, which are always and like you're going to be within six by turning point three most of the time, anyways. So I think it's a command point that's only really useful turning point two, and then they get lethal five if they are shooting and they haven't moved yet, which means you can do the dash because it's not during their activation; it's during the strategic phase. But I don't know. That doesn't seem good to me because most of the time your opponent's not really going to be giving you a shot where you can just stand still and kill them. Like maybe if they've charged into a target and your gunner is sitting way in the backfield. But I like to play aggressive with them. I like to move them up and threaten people. So maybe it's just I'm not good with that type of play style.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to turn them into more of a gun line, wouldn't it? Anyways, because you're trying to sit back and take advantage of that lethal five to get your piercing crits one, right?
Yeah. Or see, I wouldn't even ever bring the basic ranger weapon ever. I don't think it's good. I'd rather just bring a vanguard because now that the injury aura is a thing that can't be ignored, like it's not. It is no longer an injury debuff. It is a straight up -1 to hit debuff, which means ignore injury doesn't come into play. So that's really good. And now with Vanguard getting that kind of like slight damage reduction ploy, they're definitely what I want on the forward if I'm touching objectives with them and stuff.
So how long till people can expect your new guide, and when are you going to give me a box of Skitarii so I can make all my
You
rangers since I never
threw
did?
out your box of Skitarii, Chuck. That's our most watched clip is you throwing that guy in the trash.
I'm
So
sure it is. I know what the people want.
no, the people don't want it. The people just like seeing me be bullied by you. But no,
Like I said, I know what the people want.
yeah, I guess it's fair. As for when the guide, probably Christmas time, maybe. I'm trying to get it done quick, but there's so many teams out there that like all I'm gonna have in the beginning is just like, here's what here's some guesstimations, but no definitive statements on it yet.
So, I mean, I can't think of anything better to find under the Christmas tree than Connor's updated Hunter Clade guide. Tyler, what about you?
It'd be good for a good 9 months. Lots of hard work and play testing. Just have it
Listen,
put
don't
away.
remind me. Don't remind me. I'm in
You're
deep, deep denial.
you're still going to be able to play them. You're they're not going to be classified, but I don't think except for at Tacoma, you're going to have to for Tacoma next year, you're going to have to. Actually no, they'll be good for Tacoma next
Yeah,
year.
it'll be
Tacoma the year
Tacoma
after.
2026. That'll be bad.
Yeah. Have either of you guys played into the two new teams? I got my box of Hivestorm actually. I just last night finished building my sentry turret for my Aquilon. So my Hivestorm box built 100%.
My
Wow.
my terrain is fully built. We played on it the other day, but I gave my Aquilons to Kit so that she could try them out, and I'm gonna get to play her into them tomorrow. Or play
Nice.
into them tomorrow.
That's right. You gave those to Kit. I'm excited to see what you think of those. I know we in the Discord we had a bunch of discussion about the movement piece with the drop markers, and some people don't think it's a very good mechanic, and some people think it's kind of easy to play around. I'm interested to see how it works because I feel like you're going to be able to drop your gunners wherever the heck you want them if you start them in the skies.
I completely agree. I think that there's a lot of control that it exerts, and the team could be potentially good. I think we're so early into this edition, people are making a lot of assumptions about teams. I mean, like it's obvious that elite teams are going to be good with their just general across the board buffs, but there was also only 6 models, and it's a lot easier to play than 14 models or more complex teams, especially with whole new mechanics.
Let's let's talk a little bit about the new edition and elites specifically because this past weekend, our buddies over at Squad Games ran the SoCal Open down in Del Mar, California, wherever the heck that is. And it ended up being about a 40-player tournament, and I think the first major in the U.S. Third edition tournament since, unfortunately, with the weather in Tampa, the Tampa Open was canceled the weekend before, and so let's run down that a little bit, and let's have some wild speculation about how it's gonna shake up the meta based on the third edition. So number one, we had Gesture the Kid Kelly came in with Legionaries. We talked to him last week. Go back and listen to it, Tyler. And number two, we had Austin Lewis with Nemesis Claw. Number three, we had James Robinson with Legionary. Janice Gillum with Legionary. Number four, Kellen Foster, High Tech Circle. Number five, Charlotte Frazier, Void Dancer Troop. Number six, Sam Rosen with Star Striders at 7. And again, one more elite, Edgar Quintero with Nemesis Claw. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of the top 8 were chaos elites, and then a couple other ones that people are thinking to be good. So based on one tournament with some of the best players on the West Coast, are elites overpowered, and do they need to be nerfed in the ground?
I don't think they're necessarily needing to be nerfed to the ground. Maybe some of the other teams need to be buffed up. I think in part it's just they're really simple to manage 6 guys right now and learn those ploys. They're definitely stronger. Legionaries might be a little bit too strong with that whole like Slanesh -1 to hit. They've got all the equipment to reduce your dice as well and all that jazz. That might need a slight touch up. But I think just because it's such a new addition, like, we have 9 objectives now, objective modes, and they're pretty complicated at times. I think just managing 6 guys is a lot easier to do. That alongside the reduction of like piercing across the board, or rather piercing too, is kind of what we're seeing prop them up so much.
Yeah, I
Tyler, what
think
are you thinking?
I was gonna say it becomes really hard to confirm a kill for a lot of teams with less AP around, especially with the wound buff to elites. Um, and then most Astartes have the ability to counteract while concealed too, so it gives them quite a bit of like mobility and options on what they're going to be doing throughout the game.
Now, I seem to remember when third edition started to come out, people were saying it was going to be super duper killy. Does I mean Elite's got some extra wounds, most of them did at least, but there's a lot of stuff with obscuring and dropping dice and stuff. Do you guys feel like this is a very it's much more killy? It seemed like everybody thought they were going to get shot off the board turn one.
I mean, I think that people are definitely playing pretty coy right now. Um, they're trying to figure out like how far they can extend themselves. It's really hard to make I think a lot of judgments on what we're gonna see 6 months from now, right now, because like 2 weeks in, a lot of people have like I'd say 10 games is a lot for people. 20 games if you even if you've been playing like crazy. Um, so like there's a lot to digest. I definitely think it is killy. There feels like a lot of aggression. There's not that pressure to feign threats or project threats on the board with people on engage. You both know that you can move up safely, but if your opponent has an opportunity, they're definitely going to take it.
Yeah, I think that like you said, the projecting threat and knowing the threat can come from anywhere is a big thing. I really enjoyed just putting everybody on conceal and being able to switch when I wanted to. Um, it doesn't so far it hasn't felt as killy with me, but I've only got 2 games in so far. By the way, you were saying that 20 games is a lot. I guess Joshua has something like 30 games in already, and they didn't start playing at least I don't think until after Killscream, so they've only been playing for like 2 weeks. He's got 30 games in already. That's probably more than I'll have this year.
I mean, yeah, that's right around how many I'll get. No, I'll get probably like good 60 games in this year, minimum. But like, yeah, having 30 games in already is pretty insane. But I assume like their basement is just like a bunch of tables, you know, like it's just kill team tables. They hop between them. They're playing 3 games at a time, like those people playing speed chess. You know,
Well, if you listen to the podcast last week, you can find out what it's like to play in the Kill Team Sanctuary. So once you finally get to that, you'll understand. I'm just going to give you shit about not listening to the podcast all week.
see, like I don't want to know. I just want to imagine like a magical like kill team dojo that they have with lots of purple.
Imagine just like tables, like rows of tables lined up, and Jimmy Kelly standing at a podium with like a riding crop in his hand to just crack the whip on them.
I think like more like Cobra Kai, like like the
They've got
old
the
like
the
Karate
ninja,
Kid.
not yeah, or not ninja outfits. I don't know, the karate like white outfits, but everyone's wearing a purple belt, of course.
It's
No,
called a
no,
gi.
it's a purple outfit. They would never
Purple
skip.
gi.
Yeah, purple
Hmm.
gi.
Yeah, they're going. I mean, you saw them here, Connor. They're going full purple. Come on.
All right, you're
Yeah,
right. You're right. You're right. My bad. My bad.
so like that's kind of how like I imagine it, and I don't want to know any different. Anything that would change my opinion of that.
No, let's just live with the perception that that's what it is. So, but yeah, I mean, it's one tournament. It doesn't really tell us much of anything. And again, you had some of the best players. I think it's telling that some of the best players did gravitate right to those elite teams too. And I'm curious with this weekend is the New York Open, so we're going to see some of the best East Coast players see what they bring out. I think Adrian Bonavento I think is helping with this one, but you're gonna get some probably people from the DC area, and so I'm
Hmm.
curious to see what that one's gonna look like.
Absolutely. I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens at the New York Open. Travis always runs such a good show, just like a nice, clean tournament. It should be really interesting. They've got a lot of incredible players out there, too.
Actually, gonna look up. I'm gonna look up. So you guys fill airtime here. I'm gonna look up. We're not gonna edit this. Just fill airtime. I'm gonna look and see if I can see the roster yet.
So Tyler, you've only played loot, right?
Yeah, only loot so
Okay.
far.
Dang. All right. Well, one of my things today was going to be what everyone's favorite new objective modes are, because there's some cool ones out there. They're a little funky, some of them, but
I mean, will anything ever beat loot? Come on, loot is the best. We all know
no.
that. We
I
all love it.
always liked secure. I always thought secure was the best.
Hey man, I'm an elite player. You know, I like anything like capture, secure. They were both good for me.
Yeah. But no, I need to go grab my deck of cards. But I think I've played on Power Surge so far. That one's really cool, where it's you don't get any primary points until the very end of the game, but like you still kind of have to interact with the points, and it's kind of like um, it's almost like loot, but rather than like getting points out of it, what you need to do is put little tokens on it, and if you have more tokens than your opponent at the end of the game on an objective, you gain a point, and if you have objectives on or points on the objective in your opponent's half, you gain like the second point. And then if you have like, there's a couple other conditions so you can still get the six out of it. But it's a really like weird but fun one because you end up kind of having this tug of war game, which is neat. And then the other one
Yeah.
I played is Chuck. Quick, I'm running out of.
Chuck's not there. He's checking something also. It's just me here.
I'm just taking
all
a
by
nap.
myself. Oh. Okay.
Where the hell did my deck?
I
That's
played.
okay.
Which one did I play? I played Extraction, which was that's the weird one. I think it's the weird one. You perform a search action, and then you score a VP when you the first one to perform it, and then if it's the first or third, you score 1. If it's the second time it's been done, you score 2. So I played Extraction. I can't remember what the other one I played was, but Extraction was kind of fun. It took a little while to wrap my brain around it because, like I've said before, I still can't remember what the difference between capture and secure was. My brain never computed which one was actually which one you had to do the action on and which one you didn't.
Secure is where you had to do the secure action.
Yeah, but it always in my mind was like, well, capturing
Think of
sounds
like
you're
capture.
taking something.
Think of like capture like in a video game where it's like hold ground,
Yeah.
like King of the Hill.
I don't know, but if you secure a room, you go in and like hold you hold an area. But if you're capturing something, I feel like that's like you capture someone where
Yeah,
that feels like more in like an action. That's I always had it
I
backwards and I still do.
it wasn't great. They've done a good job of clarifying wording and coming up with better names.
Connor, did you find your shit yet?
He's just gone.
No, I actually had not found the deck of cards, which is concerning because I don't know where they are now. So, that'll be the background whenever I'm muted during this podcast is digging through my Kill Team boxes right now.
Did Sierra take them?
I don't think so. Maybe the cats did. The cats have started coming in the office, so maybe they stole it.
How's that going? How's your I know you're allergic to cats and yet you've apparently adopted 17 of them.
Not 17, just 2 little kittens. And it's going well actually. They're out of their little. We have like a spare bathroom where we were keeping them, but now we're letting them roam about through the most part, minus the office, other than when they busted open the door last night. And then the our bedroom they're not allowed in because I want to be able to breathe while I sleep. But they're good. They're more comfy with us. They're letting us pet them, and we got a little blanket that they like to sit on that's heated in the living room, so they're always there whenever we're in there.
You think that they're not going to come into your bedroom or your office? It's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time.
It is only a matter of time, but I'm making sure that we're shutting the door every night and like every moment we come into the bedroom because I can't risk it.
Wait till they realize that they can reach their tiny little paws underneath that door and grab the other side and pull on it.
That's terrifying. It's like a zombie movie.
And you'll hear, yeah, basically it's like that. They're like scratching at the bottom of the door. And if your door frame's like a little bit loose, they'll be like, dun-dun, dun-dun, it's like shake, so.
Connor, when they get bigger, have you ever seen the videos where people put foil on the counter? Tyler, have you seen those where you put foil on the counter and a cat touches the foil and just like, just absolutely like ejection seat, like across the room?
Tried that on my cats and it didn't do anything. They just like jumped up on the counter and they like kind of like picked up their foot. They're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, there's a whole like compilation of videos where cats just like they cannot stand it. Your
Yep.
cats don't care though?
No, not at all. Also, like, have you seen the thing like with the cats and cucumbers?
No, what's cats and cucumbers?
The cats, like, a lot of cats are scared of cucumbers. Like, if you like walk up behind a cat and like place a cucumber on the ground behind it, it'll freak the fuck out.
All right, I'm gonna Google pussycat and cucumber, safe search off.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Make sure you use Bing.
Okay, cool. Actually, I'm gonna use DuckDuckGo because apparently that's the one that's not woke. At least that's what my buddy tells me.
I don't
Yeah, I
know if
mean, like,
it's.
but Bing is where you get the good results.
So, oh, okay. So Bing is the good results. All right, hold on. I'm gonna Google it right now. This was a bad idea. Actually, it was a really good idea. I'm gonna be muted on the mic for a while. You guys just talk amongst yourselves. I'll be back in a few minutes.
No, Chuck, I'm still trying to find the cards, buddy.
No. Tyler, you got a game in on Volcus. What'd you think of Volcus? I know you are a I'm gonna say it, you're a map diva. You're a board setup diva. I know
I
you don't like map packs. Did you play with the map pack?
I did play with the map pack because Volcus is pretty dense, pretty large. So I don't really have like an idea of how it plays yet. Also, so setting up with their maps, which seem all right so far. A couple of them seem like they have some issues, but yeah, it was all right. I need to get some more games in on it. It feels like there's a lot of heavy and it's pretty safe in a lot of places. We played on a map 1 with the 6-inch deployments.
The one game that I played, I was with Angels of Death, so I only had six dudes, but I took the sniper and I took the captain because I wanted to just play with the captain because he seemed fun. I know he's maybe not the best choice since the sergeants get free CP every turn essentially with your using the doctrines. Um, but I didn't take any barricades because I'm afraid of equipment now, and unless it's built into the team, I'm not going to take it. But I feel like some of those deployments would have been really rough if I had more than 6 Marines.
Yeah, I mean, I was playing with only 9 guys. They're just tiny little elves too. So, um, I was able to, there was a lot of heavy in the deployment zone on there. So it felt pretty safe to like move up and position myself where I needed to for most stuff. Um, yeah, like it
Is Sandy the
feels.
Archon? Are they on 25s or 28s?
I think they're on 28s. I want to say maybe 25s. They're teeny tiny ones for sure.
So, yeah, I think most newer elf teams are on 28s, but I think
And I think they're on 25s then because they're on the smallest out of all the elves.
gotcha. Um, Connor, cards sometime today.
He's just completely gone off to do something else now.
All right. Well, last week, when
I'm here. I'm
he,
here.
oh dang,
Thanks, pal. But no, I did find the cards. They were in one of my Kill Team boxes, and the one I was looking for was number 4, which is upload. Upload's kind of weird.
weird. How?
Thank you. Good transition. So,
Yes, and
yes, and good job. So uploads it's just complicated. There's like 6 bullet points on this thing, and every time I read it, I just get more confused. But you essentially it's kind of like secure, where you have to do a mission action on it, and it removes any of your opponent's points on it, and you gain a point. And at the end of each turning point, you score a point for each one that has one or more of your upload points. And you can essentially the way we understand it and played it is you could have multiple people on your team tag the same objective so long as your opponent like tagged it in between. So you could have like 6 activations go back and back just fighting over the same objective, which is it's weird.
I think this is the one that when Can You Roll a Crit was talking about them and I was watching the video on that, I had to rewind it like 47 times and ask in the Discord, and I still don't get it. But again, I couldn't get capture and secure figured out.
Yeah, that's all right, buddy. And then
Uh,
yeah,
There's definitely some weird ones, like
yeah,
overall.
Power Surge is the one I've liked the most, where you select like a person, one player selects one of the three objectives, turning point two, then the other player selects one of the other two remaining, and then on the fourth turn, you already know which one it's going to be essentially. Or no, it can go back to one of the other ones. It just has to be a different one than it was previously. So you could end up just only fighting over one or two objectives throughout the game, and like the third one, maybe you just don't want to deal with that flank, so you never send a guy over there, which is kind of neat. I like one where you can force your opponent's hand, or just be like, I'm not going to worry about this one. Maybe you'll score it one turn, but I'm going to overwhelm the hell out of this flank and outscore you there.
yeah, I don't. You lost me on that one. I'm literally looking at the card right now, and I
Yeah,
don't
Power
understand what you're
Surge is
talking
another
about.
one where there's a lot of bullet points on it. The additional rules part is confusing.
Yeah, I think that some of these missions, especially with three objectives, become very lopsided towards teams that have more operatives potentially on them, or whoever goes either first on turning point two. You know?
Yeah, I think there was one that was essentially some teams can just shut off your objective in your deployment zone and kind of screw you, especially if you're playing against Farstalker Kinband because they can poach stuff. Well, we've all played a couple games and I'm excited to play the new teams, but they announced another new team in the time since we all three of us chatted last at least. And this is something that people were thinking we would get for a long time, and it's finally going to happen, a dedicated Death Guard team from the Space Marine Heroes box set. And they announced this past Sunday that pre-orders are going to be up this coming Saturday. So we should have rules in a couple days, but let's I'd love to wildly speculate about what the rules are going to be because we haven't got any leaks and we're not going to talk about leaks.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that I hope so. Here's my hope for the team overall. I too often feel like Death Guard gets stuck with just being durable, and I hope that there's something more than that this time. You know?
So what would you, besides their durability, what would you want to see out of them? If Tyler was living in Nottingham in a small English countryside town and developing teams for Games Workshop and a game designer, and we know you have an NDA, but you can't say anything, what would you want that other than the durability piece to be?
Hey, I'd really like like rather than durability, auras or something. Like maybe like one that buffs people, one that does weird stuff like you can't charge them unless you start within a certain distance or things like that. Like um, you know, just like all
I
kinds
mean,
of like
they're stinky boys.
yeah, exactly. Like maybe like you don't want to run into a cloud of flies. Like you have to do like a roll to see if you can even make the charge and run into the disgusting aura that they project.
So do you think this would be something like strategic ploys that you or strategic gambits that you would so you can put up a different aura every turn, or do you think it's just something that you would be like equipment? I feel like maybe if it's equipment that'd be too much unless you picked like an aura for the game.
I think like maybe it would be like done by like the plague caster or something like that in the banner. Like maybe they'd be like and like another guy. Like one of Nurgle's numbers is three, so maybe they could have like three guys that are sources of the plague, or like there whatever's going on, and you can like shift through them, kind of like Hunter Clades things, but they're different. You know,
Well, they're probably going to be slower because Death Guard traditionally in even like 40k are slower, but if they're Stardies, they'll be able to counteract on conceal, which means that they'll get a bunch of counteracts unless they're playing against other elites. Do Would you want them to be more than six operatives so they can be seven because that's Nurgle's number?
I mean, like with the problems we're seeing with elites, if they already are a little bit more durable, it may be a little bit too much to overcome.
I'm really hoping that they are more. than just what we've seen from the previews. Just we've seen the 7 from the Space Marine Heroes box. I'm really hoping that there's extra stuff too, and that's fleshed out like Angels of Death are now, and it's not just like Strike Force Justian would have been had we not merged the two.
I agree. I'd really like to see, the full rules for them. I hope that they like get like, unique operatives, and I hope they can take the Plague Marine box. Honestly,
Yeah, there's a lot of extra guns that they don't have because there's, I think from what we saw, they basically there's a couple bolters, I guess, because they're plague marines, but then you've got the plague caster, you've got a plasma on the, I guess what would be sergeant, but and then the plague spewer too. So it'd be nice if they can take like melta and a plasma, maybe some other heavy weapons and stuff too. Do you think do you think the design goes more in the Angels of Death way, where you have a couple specialists and a bunch of warrior nerds, or do you think that it goes more in the Legionary way, where we see all a bunch of special weapons and you can take a lot more?
I would like to see them be more special. I mean, like the Heroes box alone is more unique than the Justian box by design, in my opinion.
I'm bummed that Angels of Death didn't get like Hell Blasters and what are the other ones? Hell Blasters. Oh, the
Infernus Marines.
Eradicators, Infernus
Eradicators would be
Marines.
probably maybe a little much because they're Gravis. But like, yeah, there's Hellblasters. There's the Infernus Marines, which are the flamethrower guys. There's those stupid Desolation Marines with those like T-shirt cannons, which would be hilarious to see in Kill Team. There's Jump Pack Assault Intercessors. They'd be cool to have too.
I feel like I think when they phase out, because Angels of Death is what they're calling that season 2, so we got 2 more years of Angels of Death.
In theory, yeah, it's possible. I mean, all they've done is they've shown off that like they're in season two, but that doesn't mean they can't also be in season three. Like I imagine Brood Bros and all the teams that came out with Beta Decima are gonna stick around for a full 4 year. I think they've already said a full 4 years. So Angels of Death might have 4 years of life rather than only two, but who knows?
Now I hope we get a couple jump pack Marines. That'd be nice.
Yeah, I would have that or like there's some more loyalists that are specialized, like Phobos. Phobos is really cool. I don't think they're nearly as strong as the other elites. Seems to be the consensus because they're still only 12 wounds, but they look really fun. I'll want to play some Phobos, but I'll be sad when they eventually get dropped from the classified list because I think they're one of the most unique Marine teams.
I think yeah, Phobos have a million specialists since it's essentially 3 boxes that they made them out of with the Reavers, the Infiltrators, and the Incursors. Is that
Hmm.
right? Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, they have a million specialists.
yeah, and
Yeah,
now they all kind of got better, which is nice. It's not only Reaver Sergeant too.
yeah. It's really like I think Phobos are quite cool. Just in general, I think that like the tactical look isn't like the what I think of when I think of Space Marines, but I think that the Phobos is like really well executed as a cohesive look in addition to the Space Marine forces.
How do you think it goes? Do you think you go scout like so you're a space marine, you're going through, and do you think you go scout and then you choose Phobos, or you, I mean, how does that work? Do you,
So it depends on the chapter, but relatively the Codex is the Scout Company, which is generally I think the 10th company, like your reserve. When they become full fledged Marines, they'll often stick in either Infiltrator or in Cursor armor for a while. Like most of the 10th Marines, if they're not Scouts, they're gonna be those suits of armor. But then the whole thing with the Primaris Marines is that they're expected to swap, or you're allowed to and expected to swap between your armor mark depending on your mission and stuff. So like maybe day one of a campaign you'll be in Gravis armor, and then the next day you'll switch into Phobos and stuff.
Yeah, so I believe that it's again it's chapter dependent, but it's going to depend on like what company you're assigned to, and I believe that most chapters assign someone based on how like what their adeptitude is. So, or yeah, is that the right word? Is that a word?
Or
Am I
like what they like to
or
use the most, what
aptitude?
they
Yeah,
prefer. Yeah,
or
yeah.
like what they show skill in. So like if you show skill in like being a light, infiltrator and like skirmisher or sniper, you'll probably be assigned to those units, and then maybe to other people will be assigned to like more regular intercession units. Like companies that are
Mhm.
largely those.
Yeah, because especially the whole thing of calls like armor is that like Gravis is literally just Tacticus, which is like a standard intercessor armor, but with just more armor essentially put on top of it. And then Phobos is this Tacticus armor, but with more stuff taken away. And so you're supposed to essentially be able to like put it on like you would layers when it's like hot and cold at the end of the day type thing, if I remember correctly. They've kind
That
of like
that's that's cool in theory and like practicality, but one
mhm.
of the things I personally loved about 40K is how unpractical it was. Like rather than having you like overlapping designs that were like, oh, I can armor up, I can armor down. It was like, no, we have fucking Terminator armor and it's a whole new thing and we barely know how to maintain it or work it. We have regular armor and you can fucking deal with it.
So if the three of us were stuck in the 40K, not the old school cool 40K where you got Terminator or fucking deal with it. What would be our battlefield role and what armor would we want to be in ourselves? I know Connor's going to be an aggressor for sure. Tyler, what about you?
I mean, like, despite being a big dude, I think I would be in Phobos armor. Like I would prefer like the speed and agility that it offers, because I think that like works with what I would want to do if I was a space marine or be on a bike, like a fucking space marine on a bike. That sounds fucking
Outriders.
badass. Yeah.
Yeah, those and the most speaking of impractical, the Outriders bikes are the most impractical. Like if they come across like these are supposed to be zooming across the battlefield. If it came across a big speed bump, they'd be fucked.
Yeah,
So fucked. Are those the fucking four wheelers?
the
Like the go kart?
The,
ATV
the,
that's
the yeah
stupid.
the Mario Kart.
I have seen really cool conversions for Outriders where people will like 3D print bits. I have them somewhere because I'm gonna have one of my local guys print up some for me. But they make the Outriders have the same kind of like hover grav technology that the like Repulsor and Impulsor have, and they look really cool. So I'm gonna be excited to make those at some point.
That's questionable. Like first it's the aggressor armor, then you're telling me the go karts can be cool.
No, not the go kart. The go kart could never be cool. I'm talking about the Outriders because they're like just they're just motorcycles.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, that makes sense. But I thought you were saying like hover
No,
go kart,
the
and I'm
grav kart, the
like,
Mario Kart could never be cool unless it was like the Warthog from Halo, but it'd have to be significantly bigger at that point and not some stupid ATV.
yeah.
I think maybe it was Eons of Battle did a conversion of the go kart and made it actually look pretty cool.
I don't know why they like had to turn the like speeders into these fucking giant things. Like the new speeders are so much bigger than the old speeders. Like the speeder should have been what replaced the go kart,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Also, for what it's worth, I wouldn't act as cool as I think it would be to, shoot big gun from aggressor. I'd probably want to be a blade guard veteran, but that would require me surviving hundreds of years, I think, because they're supposed to be like kind of stern guard vet level of experience.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to make it that long. I think you're going to be the one that they're like you're going to be the cautionary tale of the guy who, got his black carapace and then just instantly became a servitor.
Thanks, pal. Now that
Yeah.
or tech marine because I want my big on the sign axe.
So, Tyler, if you or no, Connor actually, if you were to since you don't want to be a space marine anyways, you want to be a robot. If you were to pick which of the robots, and I need a short answer. I don't need a 40-minute like
Mm-hmm.
soliloquy on
Like which Skitari would I be?
yeah, which Skitari or would you be like one other bug dude, bug robot guy? Which way guy would you be?
I'd either want to be the Cerberus Silverhounds. They're the vanguard riding the flamethrower mouth dogs because that's super cool, and they get like to be cowboys. Or I'd want to be a Taraxi, which are like the flying guys, because having wings and looking like a Da Vinci nightmare and shooting fire or flechette blasters would be pretty fun too.
If I was going to be someone, I think I would be if I get to pick, I'd probably be pushing paper in the back or a chaplain.
The chaplains are pretty badass. Chaplain on a bike. Come on now. Like you
Chaplain on
get
a
the
bike is sick.
You could
you've
be a
heard
chaplain with a jump pack. Which one?
a chaplain on a bike. Come on. Like Legion of the Dam, chaplain on a bike is what I want to be if I can pick anything.
Chaplain on a bike. I actually have one of those painted up for my Blood Angels, and it was one of the I painted up like last minute for the last 40K tournament I played in, and he did work. He was fun guy to paint too.
I always wanted to get that model. I just never got around to it, and then it got like weird, you know.
Tyler, I think I somehow might have a like prime chaplain on a bike. It might be a kit bash, but I can give that to you if you'd like, buddy.
I mean, I'll never turn down a free model. Like,
Free plastics, free plastic.
Yeah, and for reference, it's like the old chaplain, not the new one. It's like the old school, tiny year Marine guys.
is it fine cast or is it
I
metal?
don't think that. I think it's plastic.
Okay, all
I don't
right,
know which
yeah.
one you're
There's
talking
there's
about.
gonna
You
be
gotta.
good bits on it.
So he's gonna you're gonna give it to Tyler, and Tyler's gonna tear it up.
Tear it up. I'm gonna tear that shit up so
That's
hard.
okay. It was given to me for free when someone was just getting rid of a bunch of models, and they had this like a come grab one at random out of like a shoebox thing, and that's what I ended up grabbing.
Speaking of speedy things on bikes, things on go-karts, well, things like go-karts, racing. Tyler,
Yeah, go
you wanna
fast.
talk about this season of the Kill Team Cascadia tournament series?
Yeah, we like to do fun themes for our annual events, and give away prizes that are kind of themed around that. So this year we decided we were racking our brains coming up with something good, and we settled on racing. So we're gonna do the War Masters Championship Cup series. It's gonna be a blast. So right now we're in the preseason. So these will be the events before the beginning of next year. We got one coming up here in 2 weeks. It's going to be the what is it?
11-3. It's gonna be the massive Bastilus.
Bastilis.
Yeah, massive
Yeah,
Bastilus.
Bastilis 300, sponsored by Visit Volcus.
Yeah, so it's gonna be like Tyler said, this whole season, like last season we did wrestling. The season before that was based on metal, and so this season we're going with racing. We're last season we had a bunch of belts we gave out. Connor's got one. He's got a little baby one, and so we're gonna be doing like championship cups. Uh,
Yeah, it should
like
be
that.
really good time.
First event's gonna be a small 16 player tournament on November 3rd down at Shiv Games, and it's going to be kind of a tune up for Worlds for a couple of our golden ticket players. So it's going to be the first game of third edition that we're going to have too, and I think we're going to mix in a little Beta Decima even too.
Yeah, absolutely. So that should be very interesting. We've never had Beta Decima at one of our events.
Yeah, I don't even know how to play on Beta Decima. I have a fully painted set. No idea how to play it.
Yeah, you're going to be bringing it down for the event. Tell you what.
Yeah, for sure. It reminds me, I need to do a little OSL on the lights underneath to just finish it off. And I think I snapped a
Yeah,
piece
I
off of
mean,
it.
kind of slacking on that, Chuck. Like, geez, not doing the underside OSL on the terrain.
I know. I haven't done the OSL on my Into the Dark terrain either, so I got some airbrush work ahead of me. Then actually we're I'm going to announce a date. We haven't announced a tournament yet, but 12/7 will be our holiday tournament as well too.
Yeah, that should be a lot of fun. Anyone who was at the last holiday tournament kind of knows what's going to be going on. It's going to be similar format this year. Should be a blast.
So we're going to do White Elephant. Your ticket entry gets you a prize to start off with, a wrapped prize, and how we're going to do it. I think we figured it out, so I'm just going to tell people. So,
Yeah,
we're going to start out, and everybody who's signed up, we're going to announce the pairings, and the pairings are going to be, so your table 1, the 2 players from table 1 are going to come up to the front. There's going to be a whole stack of gifts. You're going to roll off right there. Whoever wins the roll off gets to pick first, and the other person picks second. Then table 2 comes up. They're going to roll off. Winner picks first, other person picks second, till everybody has a gift. Then you're going to go to your tables. You're going to play a game of Kill Team. At the end of the game of Kill Team, whoever wins gets to take the wrapped prize of their choice off of the table. So we're going to have some different levels of prizes. We're gonna they're all going to be wrapped too, so you're not going to know exactly what they are. It could be something you want, could be something you don't want, but you are going to have to make that decision as the victor there. And then it's going to continue for the next 2 more rounds, and then at the end, we're all going to get together around. Yeah, let's find it. Can we find like a Charlie Brown Christmas tree, and then we're going to unwrap our
Hmm.
stuff.
Absolutely, it's going to be a blast. This way, everyone walks away with a prize. Everyone's coming out with something there. It should be a lot of fun for people. And then at the end, also one thing to mention is that the winner, the whoever comes in first, they get to look around the room and pick one person to swap prizes with before everything's opened up at the end.
So it should be super fun tournament. It's going to be more casual than usual, um, but we want it to be something for the holidays in the spirit of giving or whatever. Just we want people to less sweat and more fun for this tournament. But it is going to be the kickoff of the tournament series. So I think we talked about we're going to do about 4 events over the year, culminating in Killscream 4,
Hmm.
right?
Yep, that's the idea. We're gonna try to hit the major areas. So we'll have one at Shiv, one up in Washington, and one in Portland, and then Killscreen 4, and kind of like quarterly GTS is what we're aiming for with this.
And then one thing I think we're going to do, we haven't nailed down the exact details, is we're going to have a winner based on your standing and the outcome of how you place at the entire series of tournaments. So if you attend a bunch of our tournaments, you're going to accumulate points based on how you do in every tournament, and then we're going to have a prize at the end of the season, probably a cup for whoever scores the most points, just like you would in like a racing series. So
Yep,
we're,
absolutely. And then I talked to Mr. Jeremy Spake the other day. I sent him a text after we were talking about this if he would cast if he could make us a giant custom Chaos Cup for this, and he said it will be the biggest, coolest prize that anyone has ever seen at a Warhammer event, budget willing.
now are we doing, is that going to be, that's going to be for Killscream 4 though, right?
Absolutely, but maybe we'll see. We'll talk to him. Maybe we'll do custom cups for all of our events. We have to see what's feasible and reasonable.
So we're hammering out the details right now. I think Tyler and I are going to sit down soon and just kind of plan out the next season. But it should be a small event coming up in about 2 weeks, and then on 12/7 is when our new season of Kill Team officially kicks off, and culminating again at Kill Scream 4. We're working on that already too, so we're
Yeah,
excited to get going.
absolutely. I'm hyped. Took a minute to recover from Killscream 3 and CritCon for me. But I'm back in full force, and I'm ready. I'm excited for this next year. Finally getting to play this new edition has me really hyped. It feels really good. I think that like we're at a point like where there's still a lot of confusion and stuff that needs to be clarified, and just little things that have to be tweaked. And then I think in a few months, when we get our first data slate and stuff like that, we're really going to see the game become like what we all want out of it.
Yeah, all of that sounds awesome. I'm glad to have a cool theme. Racing will be fun. If we can get custom cups, that'll be even sick. And like I said, it's a little wacky right now. We can all see there's a little cracks and stuff that needs some answers. Like, can Corsair shoot 3 times in one activation with that one character? Is perma snipers gonna this perma silent snipers gonna be the most broken thing in the world? But we just gotta trust the process. Wait 3 months, hopefully, or maybe a little less, and then the game should hopefully be in a pretty solid state and be ready for new teams to come out and completely destroy that solid state.
Yeah, it's going to be a blast. I'm real hyped. Shout out to the game developers of this because I know you're listening to us personally. So thank you from us to you.
Yeah, I'm super excited to get into the game more. I haven't had enough time to play lately, but I know that when I've gotten time to sit down and play, I've been super excited. Tyler, I'm coming down to your area this weekend. You
I'm
got
so
time for a
stoked.
game Sunday morning,
Yeah,
noonish?
I'll see you right at noon.
Okay,
So
it'll be our first time playing too. We've never actually played.
we haven't played
No,
ever.
no, sorry. We haven't played since the very first tournament game I played, which was you and me intercession versus legionary at Shiv.
We haven't got a game in since then.
We
Not even
haven't.
one. Wow.
No. Yeah, and
Wow.
we did
That's
ChuckyCon, we
crazy.
did the Coast weekend, and we haven't played a game since then.
That's wild. Yeah, long overdue. That's how I feel like every time I get to play a game with, like one of my friends, especially like internet friends up in Washington. It's like, oh man, this is so overdue.
Yeah, well, we'll get a game. It's either going to be, I think it's going to be Intercession or excuse me, it's going to be Angels of Death, Intercession, whatever, uh, or Castergan. I haven't decided. What are you going to bring? You know, Legionaries, Hand of the Archon.
Hand of the Archon. I'm gonna re-traumatize you.
Oh
Which
God, I can.
didn't we play? Oh yeah.
No, we
No,
didn't.
no,
No,
it
you
was
played. You
Connor.
played. You played
You
Connor
just
at
had to
ChuckyCon. Yeah,
watch.
I had to watch.
Yeah.
I could
Yep.
smell the torment grenade from one table over.
Yeah, I'm bringing the torment grenade. Bringing the voyeur. He's gonna watch me get pain tokens and get off on it. So
Sweet. This conversation took a weird turn.
Yeah, it's maybe we
mhm.
play in the back room of Shiv.
Hmm.
Well, gentlemen, thank you for joining. Appreciate you taking some time out to chat with us, Tyler. It's great to have you back, and
Always good to be here.
now we do all the plugs and stuff. So, dicethrower.bigcartel.com. What's up in the dice thrower world, Tyler?
We got the Kill Team shirts, which if you haven't ordered, there's like just what a couple days left on that. It goes 9 days left to the 31st. Those are only running one time. If you don't get it, you won't ever get it. It will not be available otherwise on there. And then I have a lot of back stock available. So some of my shirts that didn't sell that I printed up for the con are up on the website. You can order them, and I'll ship them out within a couple days rather than the normal couple months lead time. And then finally, my nerd shirts should be done here probably at the beginning of next month and shipping out shortly after that. I'm super excited for that one.
I just totally blanked on what I was going to say. Let's see. What was it? Fill time. Yes, and
It was the Kill Team shirts. Was the
oh, I was
first
going to say, yeah,
thing.
the Kill Team shirts. If people haven't seen those, they are. Is it a? It's not a Black Templar. Is it a
I think it's an Imperial Fist, is what it was originally
Imperial
in
Fist?
the
Yeah,
OG art. So, but I've got them in two colorways, like a sepia and then a classic Kill Team orange on there. They're gonna be real hard. So
yeah. I'm waiting for my nerd shirt, so I'm excited about that one.
yeah, absolutely. I think that's my best shirt. Although sales numbers don't agree.
It's all right, you know. I mean, it's one of those
Like,
things where, like, people didn't like Da Vinci's stuff when he
yeah.
was,
People
so,
people like Space Marines. That's really what it is. They like Space Marines, and I don't blame them.
you know what? Actually, the favorite shirt that you've made that I enjoy the most is actually the All Our Beauties Are Bastards pink crop top.
Oh man, that went so hard. Like some of these colorways just like come out just like so good. That's definitely gonna be one of my returning colorways, I think.
Connor, you should have got one of those for Sierra.
It's almost like I did, Chuck, and then I fucked up and forgot to bring it home, and now I need to pick it up from you.
Yeah, I mean, I look hot in it.
I'm oh god, I'm gonna have to wash it like 12 times.
It's never coming out. Trust me.
Ugh, that's just awful. I hate you.
Yeah, it's just kind of my I'm feeling cozy and comfy at night shirt. Like, just curl up on the couch.
You're so brat in it is all I have to say.
I'm so brat.
Yeah.
So thank you for that, Connor.
Yeah, I'm expecting that back soon. I'll
Yeah.
pick it up one of these upcoming tournaments. So go sign up for those right now.
Do it.
Yeah, you
Go
should
sign
too,
up.
Connor.
I might be able to make. I'll definitely be in the December one. I might be able to make the first one we got in 2 weeks because, ironically enough, I'm going to be in Oregon for the second for Sierra's high school reunion, and I get to be like, yes, I'm her husband. I have a podcast, and impress everyone.
She's
You're
going
gonna
to high school
if
reunion.
anybody listens to this podcast, they're not going to be impressed.
Yeah. How is she old enough to have a high school
It's her
reunion?
10-year. Yeah, Sierra's older than me.
Okay.
She's 28 now, so it's her 10-year reunion.
Okay. That's interesting. She going to what, Roseburg for it?
No, it's up in I don't remember where, like Clackamas area, I think.
Okay, okay, very different than Roseburg. So
Yeah, it's more Portland suburbs than like rural Oregon.
I was gonna say, Connor, real quick before we move on. Sometimes I doubt your commitment to Sparkle Motion. You know, you're gonna be down here on the second, and you can't even make it to a tournament on the third.
I mean, I'm gonna try and make it to the one on the third. Also, I know that line, that Sparkle Motion. What's that from?
You
Why can I not place
leave it
it?
in the comments if you know it, or
I
in
I
chat
don't
on
know what that's
Discord.
from.
You don't know what that. You worked at Blockbuster. Come on, it's like from
Yeah,
I
one
it's
of like
told
clearly
you
a movie, Chuck. Is it a Will Ferrell movie?
I
no,
watched
it's not.
Madagascar 2 like over and over again. That's what I
No,
watched at work.
it's definitely like it's kind of like considered an edgy movie these days, but cult classic, if you will. So, shout it out in the comments or on our Discord. Let us know what movie that's from.
Fuck, I need to Google this.
Don't
No,
Google it. Don't
don't
do it.
Google it.
Well,
No,
I'm
don't do
gonna
it.
Google. I'm not gonna
No, don't
say
fucking
it.
Google it.
Yeah, don't Google it.
Well, I need to know
Uh,
what the movie is so I can go watch it.
I,
anyways,
I mean, like, here's the thing. I'm not shocked that Connor doesn't know it. I'm surprised you haven't seen the movie, Chuck, but no one will be surprised that I know this quote, you know?
yeah, I mean, I'm not going to Google it either. Somebody tell me what it is. I didn't even. There was a quote from Young Frankenstein today. I've never seen Young Frankenstein. I worked at a video store for like 12 or 13 years. Never
I've
seen
never
it.
seen Young Frankenstein either because I don't do musicals.
Oh,
Is
it's a
it a musical?
musical.
I think it is. I'm pretty sure Young Frankenstein's a musical.
Remind me about musicals next week. I'll have a story for you. So, at Lowbrow Minis on Instagram,
Yeah.
at Pain and Cave Minis is me, Chuck.
Oh
At Spanaway on everything. I think Connor just came.
no, I googled the quote and now I know the movie.
Okay. Don't tell me. I don't want to know. But
Teletubbies go to
that,
Paris.
I think I'm gonna have to put that. That's gonna be a soundboard sound though. It was. No. Um, you okay there,
I'm
bud?
just dying now. Yeah, go subscribe and like and comment and rate 5 stars.
Yeah,
And
do all those influencer things that we need.
and
To...
Chuck's poll for CritCon. Do that
Oh
too.
yeah, there is a poll. I gotta check and see where if I got any more. We had about 13 people last time I looked. We did do a survey for CritCon and Killscream 3 to just get feedback from people because we want to know what you liked. We want to know what we can do better, and we are open to feedback. I give Connor feedback every week. He doesn't like it.
Feedback's hurtful.
That's true. It's all in the delivery, and I think I've mastered the delivery to make you cry.
Yeah.
So but really though, if you're in the CritCon channel in Discord, there's 2 surveys. There's one survey that is I went to CritCon to give us feedback on what you liked about the tournament, the venue, the overall event, and then also there's one if you didn't attend CritCon, why you couldn't make it. We missed you, but we want to know if there's anything that we can do differently to make it more accessible to people to come to the tournament. So those are in the CritCon channel in Discord, and we'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely. Thank you all who came out to that again one more time. We really appreciate it. Love you. Good night.